the Adelaide Oval, right next to this vast contraption here behind me, which is the thing that lifts the drop-in pitch into the Adelaide Oval. It's like a bridge on wheels, actually. It's an extraordinary thing. Anyway, the pitch today has helped England a bit. They've only lost 6 wickets as a result. They've made the highest score of the series. We will look back on the day's play and also talk to an abrasive Australian character, their former wicketkeeper Ian Healy. England's day got off to its worst possible start when Alastair Cook was caught top-edging a hook down at fine leg off the 9th ball of the morning, the 3rd that Mitchell Johnson had bowled. And a lot of people were saying, what was Alastair Cook doing playing a hook shot so early? The fact is, it was a ball that bounced a bit higher than he was expecting. If you look here on Hawkeye, you see how much bounce Mitchell Johnson got with this bouncer. And also, it was a little bit more offside than perhaps he thought, so it was harder to control the hook shot. Cook is a very good hooker. Gets back on his stumps, rolls his wrists on the shot and generally hits it square of the wicket very effectively. But probably what he should have done here is seen the ball bouncing a bit higher and a bit more offside and just bailed out of the shot and let it go over his shoulder just to check what the bounce and the pace of the pitch was early on. But you can see what he was trying to do. He was trying to make a statement, say, look, England are not going to fold limply in the second innings. He got out. Unfortunately, the top edge went straight to the man at fine leg, but thank goodness Joe Root and others showed more fight in this innings and took the match to a 5th day. Right, I got to Ian Healy, the former Australian wicketkeeper, spiky character, just to chat about the day's play. Firstly, let's look at Alastair Cook, the hook he played there. How do you assess that? Bad shot? Bad luck? Should have been taking Johnson on that early?
A bit of all that, actually. He certainly brought Australia into the game by playing that shot so early. I think he probably should have assessed how Mitchell Johnson was going to bowl, because that ball got big on him. So he hadn't really assessed the pace of Johnson, the bounce of the pitch. It was perfectly pitched bouncer, wasn't it? It was right at the right height to get the shoulder of the bat. Yep. It was a brilliantly bowled thing, and the field placing they had was quite unusual. They'd taken him from fine leg round to, you know, a squarish fine leg, and so great tactic by Australia. Mitchell Johnson executed it perfectly and got the edge they were looking for. Cook maybe could have got out of the way of 1 or 2 before his natural instincts as hooking and pulling came into play.
What about Matt Prior? We should just talk about him a bit. You know, you wicketkeeper batsman, Prior wicketkeeper batsman, similar sort of cricketers in many ways. Were you actually quite pleased to see the way he batted tonight?
Absolutely delighted. His wicket-keeping's gone off. His batting's been down. So this innings of fight and real grit that he showed tonight, he's going to bring it all back up. So you can expect so much more from Matthew Prior once again in Perth, Melbourne and Sydney. You watch, his wicket-keeping will improve, his whole demeanour will improve.
Is that because, you know, the ball carries it through easier? Is it an easier place to keep anyway, Perth?
Yes and no, because you're so far back, because the ball is bouncing through, the ball does wobble a little bit. So it's a new challenge, wicket-keeping in Perth compared to Brisbane and Adelaide. I thought yesterday with the gloves he was untidy. He was spectating the ball, he was predicting what might happen, and then when it didn't happen he was out of position and missing balls from the spinners. It was really untidy. It's not like him. We'll see that improve immediately, because he found some comfort at the crease, and he had to fight really hard, and he's sweating again. He hasn't sweated in batting for ages, so he would really be satisfied tonight that maybe he's turned the corner.
Now you're a Brisbane man, obviously know the Gabba like the back of your hand, played in the Wacker Perth many times. Are England going to go better or worse at the Wacker?
Worse. Worse, I'd predict. I don't think this wicket suits Ryan Harris or Peter Siddle as much as Perth is going to. So England are going to get a real barrage, a 3-way barrage if you like, in Adelaide.
Smile. There's a slight smile creeping on.
Oh no, well I had to play the West Indies in Perth, so we used to get hammered in Perth. It was no good. It's not good at all. So England have really got to find some confidence, and they've got to just back themselves. They've got to stop worrying and stressing and get out and really put energy on every ball when they're bowling it and when they're batting against it, and see what happens. Don't be overawed or intimidated by the result that might happen. We might lose this and lose the Ashes. Don't worry about that. Just go 1 hour at a time and see what comes of it. But they're going to need to find a technique and some real confidence before that game.
Sounds to me like you've got a golf course booked for the 4th day in the Wacker.
No, I haven't. I think you can stay. You can stay in Perth. I reckon the first 20 minutes batting in Perth is absolutely crucial because the balls are pitched fuller than you, and the balls that come through shoulder height are fuller. In Adelaide, you'd be going to the front foot on them, onto the front foot. So it's that adjustment you have to make in the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes of your innings. Then it gets pretty easy because the ball comes through true. So that's what they've got to learn. And then they've got to find out how to practice it, and then they've got to do it. That's the most important thing.
They've got to do it. Well, let's hope England can fight a bit tomorrow anyway. At least take the game past lunch, please, because it stops him having a big liquid lunch, doesn't it?
No, it won't be long anyway.
Thanks for your time anyway, Ian.
You're welcome, mate.